Building an ASP.NET Core Web API with CRUD Operations using Dapper ORM. This course has been divided into following 5 steps. Step 1. We will create a database for the API. Namely, in this step, we will create a database, then create a product table and insert it some test data. Step 2. We will create an ASP.NET Core Web API project. In this step, we will cover some important topics including app settings JSON file, API-based URL, adding CORS policy, service registration, etc. In step 3, we will create a command library, namely a BlazorCrudSharedLib library. Since we have a database and a tables, in C# codes we need to have C# objects which correspond to the tables in the database. If these objects are created in a separated command library, we can reference it in both API and the UI projects as well. Especially if we create the UI project by using Blazor, it will give us great convenience. In step 4, we will create a CRUD repository service with Dapper ORM and register it. Namely, we will create a product repository service class. In the service class, first we will design and create endpoints of the API. Then create a product repository service. We also talked about the dependency injection here. Finally, in the step 5, we will create an API controller class based on the CRUD repository service just created in the step 4. Now, let's start to it. This is the SQL Server Management Studio I just launched. We have a database here, testDB, and inside the tables, we don't have any user table yet. Therefore, first, I will create a user table, namely, I will create a products table, then insert it some data. Actually, I have prepared a script. I will just copy the script and paste it here. The script will create a table and then insert some data. Let's do that. This is the script I have prepared. First, we will create a simple products table. The products table includes few columns, namely ID, product name, product price, date of import, and product availability. In the second step, we are going to insert some test data. For example, the first product is C# book, second is pen, and the third one is notebook, and the fourth one is laptop. First, let's execute the script and create the table, then insert the data. Okay. I just execute the script. There are 4 rows has been affected, and we have inserted this data. Okay, let's check it. Refresh the tables. Here is the products table. Let's display the data and check it. It looks good. These records will be used during the web API creation and the testing of the web API's endpoints. Now let's get started to create the ASP.NET Core Web API. First, create a new project. Select this one, ASP.NET Core Web API. Then click Next. Give a project name. Click Next. It's being created. The project has been created successfully. In the first step, let's create connection string. This is the SQL Server Management Studio. I have a local database here. Therefore, I just get the server name. This is my server name. Just copy it. Connection string. Okay, this is the connection string, default connection, and this is the server name, database name, and that we are going to use Windows authentication. Therefore, trusted connection is true, and the trust service certificate is true. Now save it. In the second step, inject some services. Open the program files. Actually, the program files is very simple. This is the container. We are going to add some service to the container. First, we are going to add base address if needed. That's it. Okay, this is the first step. Now, in the second step, I am going to inject SQL connection. If we inject SQL connection inside the program files, later in the repository, we're not going to initiate SQL connection because in the program file, we just injected it and we can use it, that SQL connection, across the application. Before inject it, I am going to get some resources from NuGet. Go to NuGet, packages. Therefore, we are going to get system data SQL client, actually. This one. Just install it. Okay, in the same time, we are going to use Dapper. Therefore, now we also install the Dapper ORM. Dapper is an ORM. Install. Okay. We have it here. Just copy this. Copy. Paste it here. We just added SQL connection as a service. Therefore, we can use this SQL connection across the application without another initiation. Great. Please remember, later when we create the repository, we also inject the repository here. When we're trying to access these APIs in the point from the WebAssembly project, at that time it's different sources. Therefore, we are going to add cause and configure the cause policy here. Now we don't have a UI project yet, but I just enter it as a temporary name. Later we will change it. With origins, select with origins. Later we will change it. Now let's just add temporary URL here. Okay, after this, we are going to enable CORS with the specific policy. Just copy this policy, copy it, just paste it here. Now it's good. This is 4 and this should be 5, step 5. Okay, this looks good. One more thing, we need to configure the HTTP request pipeline. If something happens, namely if it happens some error at that time, we are going to display that error. Therefore, we are going to add one error related line here. For example, step 6, configure the HTTP request pipeline. If error is happened, therefore it will become here and then it will be manage the error, especially in the development environment. Therefore, I will just do it for the development environment. Is development, okay. Then exception handle, then just go to the errors page here. Okay, let's summarize it. Actually, in the default condition, this program file is very simple. We just saw that. However, in order to run this application, we just added several steps. First, we have added the base address. Sometimes we need this because we are going to use the base address across the application. Then, in the second step, we just add a SQL connection as an object. Thus, there is no need to initiate the SQL connection across the application because we just inserted it here and added it as transient by using the default connection. We just created in the app settings file, we create the SQL connection object. We injected it here. Therefore, across the application, we can use the SQL connection without initiating it. Then, later, we will inject the repository here as a service. Therefore, I just do it to here. Then, step 4, we add the CORS service and configure the CORS policy because we are going to use Blazor WebAssembly. Then, we are going to use this API. Namely, we are going to call this API's endpoint inside the Blazor WebAssembly application. Therefore, we need to add this CORS policy here. I just added it. This is the base URL of the UI project or Blazor WebAssembly project. I didn't create yet. Later, when I created it, this port might be different at that time. I just changed it. Step 5, we just added this in the application because we just build the application. Now this is the application and we just use CORS and use on the allow specific origin. The specific origin is here. Okay. In the step 6, we just add one error page management, especially in the development environment. That's it. Save it. Until here, we just created the API and we just set on the app settings and some injections in the program files. In the next step, we are going to create one object, namely the product object, because in the previous section, just created the products table, for example here. Therefore, we need to create one product object. So the product object will be used in the API, and as well as will be used in the Blazor WebAssembly UI project. Namely, this product object should be common for both API and UI. Therefore, it's better to create that object in a library. During the usage, we are going to reference that library in the API as well as reference in the UI project. First, we need to add BlazorCrud shared library project. Add project. Because it's library, therefore Razor class library. Then click next. BlazorCrud shared library. Then click next. Create. It has been created here. Actually, this is an example class. We don't need it, so I need to delete it. Okay, this is also one example component. I don't need it because this is library. Therefore, I just delete it. Okay, now I just need one product object. Therefore, just create a modules folder. That's it. Now we have ID, product name, product price, date of import, and finally availability. We just have few columns. These properties correspond to the columns of the table in the database. Save this. Now we need to reference this project inside the API. Add project reference, then just add this. Okay, now we can use this inside our API. In the next step, we are going to create repository. Actually, the repository is a service. Later, we are going to inject repository inside the program files. First, create one folder here. First, we need to create the repository interface. The name should be iProduct repository. Okay. Now, we are going to need several endpoints. The first endpoint is we are going to get all products. The second one is we are going to get product by ID. Then we need to add new products. Then we need to edit or update products. Finally, if necessary, we are going to delete products by using ID. Therefore, In total, I need 5 endpoints. So first, I just enter the endpoints name here. Okay. Okay, this is the first endpoint. The second one is get product by ID async. The third one is okay. Now I have 5 endpoints here. The first one is task I enumerable product get products async. This will be get all products. Then I have an endpoint task product get products by ID async. I will pass the ID and then we will get the product, specific product. Then we need to add new products. Then pass the new product to the API. Finally, the product will be saved to the database. Then, if necessary, sometimes we need to edit products. This is edited product and we pass this method and it will be saved or updated in the database. Finally, if necessary, we are going to delete some product. Therefore, we pass the product ID and delete it if necessary. Save this. This is the iProduct repository interface. We need to implement this in the product repository class. Therefore, I need to add that product repository service here, named that class. Okay, we just implement this. This is the interface. IDB connection, we just inject it in the program files here. We are going to use it here. DB connection. Okay, that's better. Okay, I also change here DB connection. Okay. Now we need to implement each methods. The first method is, we just saw that here, the first method is this one. Get all products async. So just copy this. Okay, we are going to get products async, all products once. Therefore, this is the enumerable, and then we have product here, and therefore this is a list, this is an enumerable array. In this application, we are using Dapper. Therefore, we need to insert that Dapper first. Here, using Dapper. We also use system data. Actually, we have system data here, and we have our models here. That's it. First, we create the script, SQL, add double quotation. Okay, we are going to write our SQL here because we are going to get all products. Therefore, we just enter select star from products, order by ID. That's it. Okay, then since we have the connection here, we just get the query async because we are going to use Dapper. It's very convenient since we have SQL here and we have the database connection here. It's very easy to get the all data once. Therefore, just return await, because we are using async, therefore await here, just this. DB connection, query async. We need to do that query async here because we are async here. That's it. This is very simple. This gets all products. Save this. The second one is get product by ID. I just copy this. This time we are going to get a specific product by using ID. Therefore, first we create a SQL, then pass it to the DB connection. Okay, first let's do that. Select all from products where ID equal to this ID. That's it. Okay, therefore select all from products Okay, now just save this. We have some error here. Select all from products where ID equal to ID. Then just return await DB connection, query first or default async, because we need to async here. Okay, now this is good. Save this. We just implemented the second method, and we have here other three methods: add products and update and delete. Therefore, I just prepared it in order to save time. I just copy it and paste it here. This is the third one, namely add product async. This is the product we are going to add, and this is the DB connection. DB connection here. DB connection. We just insert into products ID, name, price, availability, and the date of import. These are the corresponding parameters, and then finally select cast scope identity as int. Insert the ID of the last one. Okay, DB connection execute Scala async int. This is the SQL, and this is the newly added product. Finally, we are going to return the product, newly added product. We have two methods as methods: update product async. Okay, so I just copy it because I have prepared it as well. Just paste it here. This is the product to be updated. Therefore, update products, set name, price, availability, date of import, and where ID equal to at ID. Then, using the connection, execute async. That's it. The final method is delete. I just copy it and paste it here. Just replace it. Okay, now delete from the products where ID equal to at ID. Then just execute async. This is the SQL and this is the ID. That's it. Now we have completed our product repository service. Save this. In the update, it looks like we don't need to return anything because I think this is the error, the source of error. Okay, so just save this. We are not going to return anything because this is just update. It looks good. Save this. Now we have completed the repository service. In the next step, we are going to inject this repository service in the program files, then implement it in the controller methods. Okay, go to program files, then we are going to inject here. We just left a position for this, builder, then services, then add singleton. Okay, repository, yeah, that's it. Builder, services, add singleton, then products repository. This is the interface, and this is the implementation of the repository service. We are going to use this repository service in the controller. In the next step, I am going to create controller. We have a controller folder here. Let's add the controller inside this folder. Add controller, go to API because this is API, and just select this API controller with some read and write action. Okay, first we need to create this one. The controller name, products controller. Okay, we just create the controller. Actually, we don't need all of this, therefore I just remove this, delete this one. Okay, first let's inject the iProduct repository. Okay, we just injected it. This is the initiation, and here we just injected it and we assigned it here. Okay, now we can use this product repository service. The first method is we are going to get all products because we have it here. First, we need to implement this one. First, we need to implement this. Okay, so action result here. Then we are going to get the products, therefore we have all service methods here. We are getting all products, therefore get all products, get products async, get this method. Actually, we just return just like this. It's okay. First, I just save it. Actually, we have one thing here. I need to do this. I need to change the price format inside the product object. Therefore, just use on the for each. Okay. Then that's it. Namely, the price should be in money format. Just return the products. Okay, I have completed the first endpoint. Actually, this is a get method. Therefore, I should do this. HTTP get actual endpoint's name. Let's say it get products only. That's it. Now save this. I have completed the first endpoint. we are going to implement the second endpoint. Our second endpoint is get product by ID. Therefore, just copy this, come here, then okay, we are going to get product, get products by ID, this one. Let's return the product. That's it. This is very simple. If we need to enter some not found, at that time it's very easy to do. For example, if product equal to null, at that time just return not found. We have a not found here. Okay, we need to add endpoint here. This is also get method, get product by ID. Then, because we are going to pass the product ID from the UI, therefore save this. Then we are going to implement the third endpoint, namely the add product endpoint. Of course, that's HTTP post, therefore HTTP post. Okay, let's name it add product. That product comes from the UI, therefore we need to use from body. From body annotation here, then product. Because this is new product, underscore product repository, add products async. We just pass this product. In case after we add a new product, we need to return that product, namely the product just added. Therefore, we just use this method, get the last added product. For that, we use this method. We just use this method. Okay, then therefore we just return it now. That's it. Until now we have added get product as async, get product by ID async, and add product. Then we have another two. One is update product, another one is delete product. In order to save time, I just prepared it and copy it, paste it here. This is the update. We are just passing the ID, and then we are passing the product. Actually, this is HTTP put. Then finally, we are going to delete some product if necessary. Therefore, I just copy it and paste it here. This is HTTP delete and delete by ID. Therefore, I just pass the ID, and then using the product repository, we have delete method we created previously. Therefore, I just deleted it, pass the ID, it will be deleted it, and then going to return no content because we just deleted it. In the case of update, we also returns no content. But in other methods, we are returning actual object. Okay, we just completed our controller's endpoints. Just save it. Now it's time to check the API, how it is work. Hopefully it should work. Therefore, I just run it and see the result. If this is okay, and in the next step, we are going to create the UI, namely the Blazor WebAssembly project, and then implement or call these endpoints we just created. Okay, it looks good. Actually, this is the default weather forecast, but this is not our endpoints. This is the default endpoints. In order to our endpoints, first we do some settings here. Okay, let's stop this and go to property, go to here. Okay, we need to add API, then products. Okay, this is the launch URL. Once we launch, and this URL should be show up. And I just copy this, paste it here. Okay, now let's save this, and I am going to launch this. Hopefully HTTP localhost 5009/API, and the products should be displayed in the URL. Okay, let's do this. Okay, it looks good because API products, and then okay, we have endpoints, for example. So let's check that. /get products. Now, if this is work, okay, we get some error here. This is in the product repository service, and line 22 and line 24. Okay, let's go there. Repository 22 here. It's here. Okay, let's see. Select all from product. Okay, now erase here. Actually, the table name is not product but products. Therefore, I just added the S. So let's stop this, try again. Okay, now let's try again, save it. We just, in case, we just check it all places. Products. Okay, products, it looks good now. Okay, now I just run it. Let me test the first endpoint. Get products. Hopefully this should get all 4 products we just entered previously. Okay, it looks good. We just entered C# book, pen, notebook, and the laptop. It's here. Yeah, it's here. Okay. Now, the second endpoint is get product by ID. Okay, so get product by ID. Then, for example, we are going to get the first product, and the first, okay, this is the first product. If I enter 4, this should be laptop, for example. Yeah, this should be laptop. Okay, we just get the products. We just tested get products and get product by ID. And the next endpoints, we are going to test them in the UI, from the UI. For example, later we are going to add product and update and delete product from the UI portion. Now, it looks like our API is good, and we have created our API. First, we just created one product class or product object inside the BlazorCrudSharedLib library, and then we just add project reference to the BlazorCrud API. After that, we created a repository interface. Next step, we just implemented this product repository inside the product repository service. After we implemented our repository service. We just call it inside the products controller and created each endpoints.